what I did was I went to an accelerated program, i.e. like Carrington College or Unitech, which is basically like you can get your certificate in like 9 months. It teaches you a whole bunch of stuff, but it's like $16,000 in tuition fees. To which like they let you take out FAFSA and things like that, but it's debt that you could be avoiding.
What's there to say? There's nothing but space in between you and I. It's okay that we change, but it feels kinda strange that you're not in my life. You're the only one.
Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. I am glad to see you guys. I'm glad to be talking to you guys on this fine Monday. I hope you guys are starting the week off right and are getting right. I hope you had a good breakfast and you are ready to conquer the day, because it is Monday, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be a bad Monday, right? We can start our week off on a good note. If you guys are new to my channel, my name is Rebecca and I make all different types of content, specifically on this channel, vlogging, travel, makeup, all of that. If that's something that you guys are into, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment before we actually get into this video. Also, another thing that I wanted to talk about before we actually got onto the main topic of this video is that your girl might be trying to be a mommy and a wife soon. So I'm really gonna start gearing this channel towards like being almost like a mommy channel, family channel, where I can connect with different people who have kids and things like that, because ultimately that's the kind of audience that I want to be talking to and attracting, like young moms, young adults, people looking, you know, to start their careers and how to start their careers, entrepreneurs wondering like how to take the first steps and things like that, and then ultimately like being a mom. Like that's my ultimate goal. Like I'm so excited, you guys. So before we got into this main video, I wanted to say that I'm going to be posting a video Friday, and it's going to be trying my followers' weirdest pregnancy cravings. And I got some really good ones on my Instagram. If you guys are not following my Instagram, go follow my Instagram, because I usually post there all the time. So I had some mommies give me some really good mixtures and some really weird ones, so I'm really excited to do that video. However, I did want to give my supporters on YouTube a chance to be able to comment their weirdest pregnancy cravings and have it also listed in the video this Friday. So with that being said, let's get into the main topic of this video. Okay, so as you guys seen from the title of this video, this is going to be all about being a medical assistant and things like that, because that's what I do for a living. If you guys do not know, I am a medical assistant. I went to school for it. So I just wanted to kind of break this down. Like I said, I want my channel to kind of be about like schooling and how to do certain things. I am currently a medical assistant and I am currently in school to be a nurse. So that's all the kinds of content. Like I won't obviously have tips and tricks for like teachers, but I do have a lot of tips and tricks for people trying to get into the medical field and things about the medical field, because that's what I'm super interested in. So if that's something that you're interested in, then don't forget to subscribe, first of all. Second of all, I just kind of wanted to break down being a medical assistant, how I became a medical assistant, the type of salaries that you can expect, where medical assistants can practice, and things like that. So let's just jump into it. So I graduated high school in 2016. Oh my fucking God, it's like 5 years ago now at this point. I can't even believe it. Oh, what is time? What is life? I don't know. But I always knew that when I graduated, I wasn't gonna instantly go to like a community college or anything like that, because like school's never really been my thing. So basically I knew that I kind of wanted to take some time off. So from graduating in June of 2016 through the end of 2016, I had taken time off and I was working. At the end of 2016, I decided that I wanted to be a medical assistant because I ultimately wanted to be a nurse. But basically we met with the school advisor and they basically said that the accelerated program for nursing was very in depth and it's very kind of quite difficult. So they recommend you being a medical assistant or like an LVN, which is a licensed vocational nurse, which is like a step below like nursing and things like that. There's a couple things below nursing, but we'll get into that in other videos. But yeah, so he recommended, one of the things he recommended was being a medical assistant. So, you know, I jumped at that, especially because medical assistants practice taking blood and giving injections and stuff. That's typically why I wanted to do it. When I was thinking about being like an LVN and those things, I was thinking about cleaning bedpans and whatnot, which I'm probably gonna have to do as like a nurse, but I was way more immature than I am now, so it doesn't really matter if I clean bedpans now. So I decided I want to be a medical assistant. So I started going to Carrington College first. And I don't want to say anything super bad about Carrington College. It just was not for me. So I only attended for like 2 months and then I dropped out. And a few months later, I think give it like 6 months in between, I realized that I wanted to go to Unitech, which is another accelerated program to be a medical assistant. So the first things first is you have to find how you're going to be a medical assistant. And one thing that I really want to urge you guys to do is to look into all the possible programs before like dedicating yourself to one. Because what I did was I went to an accelerated program, i.e. like Carrington College or Unitech, which is basically like you can get your certificate in like 9 months. It teaches you a whole bunch of stuff, but it's like $16,000 in tuition fees. To which like they let you take out FAFSA and things like that, but it's debt that you could be avoiding. So what I would urge you guys to do watching this, if you are thinking about being a medical assistant, is look into all of the programs near you. I know in my relative area we have things like the adult school, and I'm pretty sure you can even get certified from a community college. Like I think the community colleges out here, I live in California by the way, the community colleges out here allow you to take like medical assistant courses or something. I'm not too sure because I didn't go that route. I went the accelerated program route, but I do know that there's an accelerated program, there's the community college, and then there's like the adult school. The adult school, if you guys have a program like that, is what I urge you guys to do. Like I said, I'm not too sure about the price of the community college route, but I do know that in my area, the adult school was only like $2,000 to get certified. It was like a 6-month program or something like that, but it was way easier than Unitech or Carrington ever was. And the price of it, $2,000, if you can save $2,000 before you actually start, it'll save you a bunch of money, because I'm now in debt like $10,000 or like $9,000, so I kind of paid some off, but I'm in debt that amount of money that you could avoid and you should avoid. Like, I'm not too sure if you guys as parents tell you things like this, but avoid it. Avoid it. Definitely fucking work and save up the money. Do not go to the accelerated program. Just go to like your adult school, like wherever your cheapest tuition could be, because they're teaching you the exact same thing. So look into that. Now let's get into like the job description of a medical assistant. So a medical assistant is pretty much the person who takes you back into your appointment before the doctor sees you. Medical assistants can be found in hospitals and doctor offices, like a lot of places you'd be surprised. And that's what I really like the idea of it, because I wanted to be a medical assistant in a hospital. I really want to work in a hospital. So that was my initial goal when becoming a medical assistant. What you study when being a medical assistant is essentially like you study all the different parts of the body and things like that, but it's really focused on things like doing strep tests. You learn how to do strep tests. That's one of the things that you will do in a doctor's office. You learn how to do like pregnancy tests, how to read pregnancy tests. Obviously it's not that difficult, but some people don't know how, so you go over that because you will have to do things like that. You learn how to do TB tests, which is tuberculosis test, which is essentially like a tiny little needle that just goes under the surface layer of the skin, and they, push some like fluid in there and it makes like the little bubble. Obviously, like when you're getting a TB test, it's actually TB medication. But yeah, you learn how to do TB tests. You learn how to use like a centrifuge. You learn how to do like the finger pricks to test like the hemoglobin levels in people's fingers and whatnot, their capillary blood. You learn those things, and then we learn the really fun things. So we learn the injections, on how to give shots, all different types of shots. You learn how to give an intramuscular shot, which is it's right through here. It's like a normal flu shot. Subcutaneous, which is in the back of the arm, it's cringe, but you will get through it. It's a smaller needle than the IM because it doesn't have to go through a muscle. It just has to go through the fat. So you just pinch the back of the arm, and then that's how you give a sub-Q shot. You have to give gluteal shots, so we got shots in our butt. Have to do vastus lateralis. So I did vastus lateralis in Carrington, but I didn't do it in Unitech, which is very interesting. So once we went to Unitech, they actually had me show it on my friend how to do it, because I guess some schools don't learn it. But vastus lateralis is basically the muscle in your thigh, and that's where a lot of babies primarily get their injections, because their arms are so small you can't give it to them in their arms. So yeah, you learn about all the different sites of where to give injections at, and you also learn how to draw blood. So that was one cool thing to me that I found, was that you learn how to draw blood, because I wasn't expecting that. And I kind of slacked up because this is another thing. So basically that's what you do as a medical assistant. There might be some other stuff. You temperature check, you room patients, you chart their vitals and things like that. You call insurances and things like that. So you do a lot as a medical assistant. So another thing that I wanted to touch on, since I just reminded myself when talking about it, is you'll usually go to a medical assistant program that'll allow you to do like regular medical assistant stuff, and then the different things like you learn how to do EKGs and taking people's blood. So after the medical assistant program, you might be able, you have to look into it, like whatever state you're from and whatnot. But I know from my state, I'm pretty sure that after doing the medical assistant program, I could have sat to test to get my phlebotomy and my EKG license. And I was not aware, so I never did that. And so now I've forgotten a whole bunch of things that have to do with like taking people's blood and their EKGs. So I have to restudy for that and then get certified for that. But I want to let you guys know this, because if you're actively taking those medical assistant courses, keep your eye out to know that you can get certified for medical assistant, phlebotomy, and EKG all at the same time. All at the same time. So the most important thing is that when you're doing your EKGs, because most of the time they'll have you practice EKGs on other people, and then you'll print out your EKGs and they'll sign off on them. Keep your EKGs that they have you keep, and keep your blood draws that they sign off on, because that can actively literally go towards getting you 2 different licenses that could potentially pay you more money. So that's super important to know. I think I've covered everything from like what a medical assistant does and their job description to like where you can work. Now let's break down how much money you get. So it varies. It really does vary. When I first started being a medical assistant, coming out of your classes and things like that, they put you on an extern site. Essentially what an externship is it's almost like an internship, like you're working for an office, but you're not getting paid. So you're essentially just there to learn all the skills, hands-on skills that you need, but you don't get paid. So you do need to have a job, or like if you're getting taken care of by your parents, you're lucky. I had to have a job to take care of myself in the meantime. So know that if you do really good at your extern site, then they possibly, if they have slots, they will hire you on. So like do the best that you can do. I did get hired onto my extern site after. I loved my extern site. You can ask your instructor to place you on extern sites that like fit more with what you want. For example, at first I thought I wanted to be in like maternal care and like OBGYN office, be a medical assistant at an OBGYN office. And then I realized like I did not want to do that. And what I really wanted to do was be placed at an extern site that allowed me to have more hands-on. Because you might think that you want to be at an OBGYN office, but they make you literally file paperwork 24/7. Like my friend went to an OBGYN office and she hated it. Like you literally just filed the whole time. Whereas the office that I went to allowed you to take shots and TB tests and pregnancy tests, and I mean anything that you could think of, I did at my office. And I think that helped, honestly, with why I got hired onto my extern site after being at my extern site, was because I got so much hands-on experience. But also, don't get too discouraged if they don't really let you do too much hands-on stuff, because I know that I think I had like 4 weeks at my extern site, and the first 2 weeks should be like just observing. But one of the girls that she had actually hired on before I had started quit, so that left an open position for like the back office person. So I was the one going in there, literally rooming every single one of their patients, giving shots, setting up for pap smears, setting up for physicals, anything you can think of I was doing. I was doing pregnancy tests, everything. So I think that helped me get hired on. But like I said, don't be too discouraged if you don't get to do a lot of stuff, but definitely try to like urge them to let you do more stuff, if that makes sense. Like show your interest in doing more stuff in the office. So yeah, the salary, that first job that I was talking about just now from my extern site hired me on at $13 an hour, which was like pretty low because I was making more than that working like a regular job. But anyways, it was $13 an hour. Once I left there, I went to my nephrology office, which is like kidney practice, and I got $16 an hour, which was making me feel like I was hot shit. I was like, yo, a $3 raise, I'm feeling hella good. I had just started becoming a medical assistant, so I was feeling pretty good. I stayed there for a while until I realized like it was not for me. The office was a toxic work environment. the doctor, like I just had a bad experience there pretty much, so it ruined that for me. I ended up leaving that job because I wanted to pursue nursing, or at the time it was like a radiology tech. So I left. And the thing about being a medical assistant is most of the time you're gonna have jobs Monday through Friday. So if you're being a medical assistant, like, make sure that's what you kind of like want to be for a good long while, because it's gonna be very difficult to take like classes while doing Monday through Friday and this and that, which it is possible to do online classes. However, I wanted to do in-person classes, so it's really just up to you. But that's one of my biggest things, is like, make sure you want to be a medical assistant for a long while, because you know, you can't really do much else. It's Monday through Friday, usually like 8 to 5 or whatever, and it just takes up your whole day. It consumes your whole day. That, to me, made me really depressed. But like I said, I was a little bit more immature then. So like I said, that's how much I got paid. Now I'm a medical assistant / temperature checker for COVID, and I'm making $20 an hour, which is really, really good. That's where I'm driving right now. I do have to drive a little bit of a ways away from my house. I think it's like a 45-minute drive in the morning, but it's worth it because of how much money I'm getting paid. I now work 2 different jobs. So I work full-time, 2 jobs full-time, and I'm going to school full-time. Woo! Your girl is trying to get this motherfucking money, y'all. So I think that I've covered everything that has to be talked about being a medical assistant. It's like, what do medical assistants do? I told you what medical assistants do, how much medical assistants make, where medical assistants work. I think I've told you guys a lot about medical assistants. If you guys had any more questions, more in-depth questions, I love questions, leave them down below in my comments, because obviously it's kind of harder to think about, you know, what I'm trying to think about when I'm driving and everything like that. So I'm not too sure if I'm hitting everything. But like I said, leave comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys again on Friday. Don't forget to leave your pregnancy cravings down below in the comments. Bye, guys.